Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you today. That thumbnail is real, and the picture that you saw on that thumbnail is real. Now, before I get too into it and just blatantly show you that photo, and I'm sure you're hearing it all over the place because it's kind of what's hip right now is the XXXTENTACION trial. And one of the biggest questions was, or is Drake involved? Did he send out a hit for a murder? Was he directly involved? Was he known? Whatever about it, right? And then there's also other rappers, but I don't really care about those. Now, before we get too into it, I want to explain that I remember when this was a huge deal. When, before, like, X was murdered, like, when there was beef with X and Drake. I kind of remember seeing the tweets. I had a friend who was kind of, like, obsessed, I would say. Not obsessed, but just, like, knew every detail of the step that was going about it as it went down. And he told me majority of the shit that was going on at the time. And I remember most of it. It wasn't something that was talked about enough because, unfortunately, there is a higher form of influence and celebrity and status that can control a little bit of the narrative. Now, that's not what I'm going to talk about too much because that's a whole different story and I don't want to be affiliated with that. However, I can't prove for a fact and say that these photos or some of the stuff that I talk about is 100% true because there's just no way I could prove it. I mean, there's the internet, and even back then, it could have been a lie. It could have been, you know, not true at all. However, it was too real. It was too quick, too fast. The situation, what was being talked about, and how it happened. It just was, it was too blatantly obvious for it to not be true. Now, if you've seen the Snapchat Reels or possibly YouTube videos, any form of media, Twitter that you see where you see trending topics talk about this stuff, you'll probably understand the general idea of the whole situation. So, obviously, you can see from my brilliant organization of detailed things that are going on here. These are just some of the key points I'm going to talk about and kind of just run down the basics. So X had released the song Look At Me, and in an interview that he actually said Drake had gotten in contact with him, or one of his managers or publicists, I can't remember exactly who, but had gotten in contact with him and said, hey, we should, you know, collab together or work together or something like that. And in the interview, X said that he never heard anything back from him. He heard all that, was super hyped about it, never heard a thing. Now, sometime later, not too long, Drake had released a song, KMT, which has the same flow kind of pattern to it and obviously it was like, I mean, you could basically take the lyrics of each song, separate them from the instrumentals and swap them over, and it would probably be the exact same. It would fit perfectly because it was basically a rip-off version of it. However, X was not too happy about it and was kind of calling him out for it for stealing his flow. And X throughout this time was constantly popping off on Twitter. He made a lot of tweets about Drake. You know, it's not confirmed or, you know, can't confirm or deny those. However, there was pretty obvious beef going on. And, you know, there was some tweets made from Drake that were shooting shots right back. Now, when it starts to get really serious is right here. This shit right here. I just ruined that. I just ruined the lettering for that. I personally did not witness the actual tweet of it. However, my friend did. And he can confirm that this was a legitimate tweet that X had put out. Now, I'm not going to show you it blatantly because I don't want to get in trouble for it and all that good stuff, but there's like the best that I'm probably going to do. If you do want to see more of it, I'm sure you can. It's kind of on the internet. It's not too hard to find. I was able to find it somewhat easily. Rap God. Now that's like the more popular version of it, I suppose. There is another one that I'm going to show you. Bop. There you go. That is also like just another, this one isn't, I don't think you can really find this one. Just another piece of evidence for it. And supposedly the story is Drake hit him up about it, saying, hey, I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to bring my lawyers together, and if you don't take down that post. I don't believe that at all. I believe Drake had the immense amount of power to have somebody at Twitter or somewhere, somehow, be able to take that down very quick. Or X realized how big of a deal this probably was and took it down himself. I would imagine he posted it and took it down very quickly just to give it a little bit of clout, just to let Drake like know that he's got some maybe shit on him. However, you can speculate the reason or why or whatever about this, how he did it, when he did it, the reason he did it, whatever. You can speculate yourself on it because you cannot confirm nor deny a lot of these things. X posted on his Instagram story saying, if anyone tries to kill me, it was Drake's Instagram tag, I'm snitching right now. I would not be surprised if the scenario or situation was Drake literally calling him after seeing that he posted that photo for the short period that it was up and said, yeah, you're dead. Like, there's no question about it. People are going to come kill you. Because I wouldn't imagine there's another situation where you would find out about that without it being direct. And it's kind of hard to think that he would be casually walking around after all this with just by himself with the money that he withdrawed to go buy a new bike at a dealership, right? After figuring out all this shit and what the situation is, why would you put yourself in that position? It's almost like accept your own fate situation, because I think regardless, he knew it was going to happen no matter how it was going to go down. I don't think he knew it was going to happen like at that time or like, you know, where he was at. That I don't think he did at all. And then the whole thing going on with the court trials, with the accusations that Drake or that X was actually from his own, from his own account saying that, hey, this dude's going to kill me. Hey, this dude's after me. Hey, all these things. It's pretty hard to deny that it isn't true. The internet is kind of a tricky place because it is very easy to deceive and manipulate situations, especially like this. I mean, for all we know, Photoshop or deepfakes, like all this shit could be falsified information and we just don't even know. That's kind of the problem with the internet. That's a big problem with trying to accuse somebody, especially of murder, with just a couple pictures on the internet. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I pretty much had firsthand experiencing watching all this go down. I remember it 4 years ago when I was still in high school, and my friend showing me everything and being like, dude, new update, oh, new this, new that, check this out. It was a big deal, and it was not something that was really talked about, I don't think, enough. I mean, there definitely was talk of it. It was something that I don't think anybody took serious, and nobody thought anything was going to come out of it. I mean, it's just internet beef, right? At least that's what it looks like from our perspective. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the actual photos of Drake. This shit cracks me the fuck up, dude. I can't believe this shit. I remember seeing it for the first time and I was in just straight awe. Like, I could not believe seeing those photos. It made me, at the time, it was kind of hard to like, it was kind of almost a love-hate relationship because Drake was like starting to like become a person that you didn't like, the influencer in the hip hop and the rap world. He was starting to turn into this too big ego for his own fucking head type of person. So this was just kind of the like push it over the fence situation because dude, you can't be caught lacking like that. Is Drake gay? No, probably not. I doubt he's like genuinely gay and sucks dick or whatever and does gay things. I don't think that at all. I think you have to open your mind a little bit and look at a bigger picture of the situation that he would be in for maybe that to be the case. I'm not going to go ranting off too much, but I'm guessing it has to do with a little bit of a higher power. No, higher power is the wrong word. Larger people that have a lot more money and a lot more influence, and people that can maybe make people have more money and influence in the world by doing some, you know, favors for them or whatnot. Anyways, that's a different conversation for another time. But yeah, I love to see the situation. Drake needs to be held accountable. Don't subscribe, and bye.